Are you ready to hear a quick overview of the top Disney news stories of the week? We've got a great episode lined up for you, starting with the resignation of Disney's top mouse, Bob Iger. Stay tuned, and I'm going to go break it all down for you. Well, hello there. My name's Jeremy, and welcome back to Freeform Disney, where I talk about all aspects of Disney, from the animated movies to the theme parks to Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, and the TV shows, and everything else in between. And that is why it's Freeform. And keep coming back every day for new daily content. If you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now, on to this week's biggest Disney news stories. Our top story of the week is Bob Iger's resignation as CEO of Disney. Huge news. This would headline pretty much any week of me doing Disney news. Last we knew, Bob Iger wasn't planning on retiring until at least 2021, and even that had been questionable as he had already postponed his plan, stepping down 4 times over the past years. And frankly, considering the success he has brought to Disney, I imagine he probably had a blank check to do whatever he wished. But that all changed this week when a surprise announcement of his stepping down came out on Tuesday. Heck, I was pretty sure I knew what my top story of the week would be before that came out. I did not know what I was talking about. Not one bit. Now, the reason for Iger's sudden departure is currently unknown, but Iger has since ruled out health concerns or presidential ambitions, stating that he just felt the time was right. While he immediately ceased to be CEO of Disney, Iger will still stay on until the end of his current contract, which is at the end of next year. During that time, he will oversee the transition of leadership and focus his efforts on creative endeavors. Bob Iger's time as CEO of Disney has been, to put it lightly, transformative. He stepped up to the role of CEO in 2005 after Michael Eisner was forced out of that same position. And under Iger's leadership, Disney has acquired company after company after company. First, he healed relationships with Steve Jobs, and Disney bought Pixar in 2006. In 2009, Disney bought Marvel and expanded even further. And another 3 years later, in 2012, he led Disney in purchasing Lucasfilm and the Star Wars and Indiana Jones franchises. In 2017, Disney agreed to a deal to buy most of Fox, adding a whole host of new IP for Disney to play with, including The Simpsons, James Cameron's Avatar movies, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, the Home Alone franchise, and National Geographic, among many, many others. This also gave Disney a controlling interest in Hulu, and they proceeded from there to buy out Comcast's stake and gained full control over Hulu. Bob Iger also, during his time, oversaw the successful expansion of the Disney parks into China with Shanghai Disneyland, major expansions at the other theme parks, and most recently, he oversaw Disney fully entering into streaming with Disney Plus just last year. Disney is now a complete juggernaut at the box office. And guess what? They own the X-Men now, so I guess they really can be the juggernaut. The top 8 movies last year, if you include Spider-Man at number 7, which is a joint venture with Sony, were all Disney movies. Each of those movies went on to make over $1 billion, with Endgame becoming the highest grossing movie of all time, and Frozen 2 becoming the highest grossing animated movie of all time. Disney is completely dominant at the box office, and I don't see an end coming to that anytime soon. That is the legacy Bob Iger leaves for Disney. And frankly, just wow. What else can you say? I don't envy Disney's new CEO stepping into those shoes. Bob Iger went out on a high. Our second story comes off the obvious lead-in from Bob Iger's resignation, and that's the new CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek. The Bob is dead. Long live the Bob. Who is Bob Chapek? He most recently has been in charge of Disney's theme parks as the chairman of Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products since 2018. He has been with Disney for 27 years and has experience in multiple areas of the company, including home entertainment, film distribution, and consumer products. This should help him ensure that Disney works as one cohesive unit. His 2 biggest gaps in knowledge are in television and streaming, which are 2 major areas of importance to Disney currently. And if he has another gap in his knowledge, it certainly seems to be in the creative side of the movies. He's got the business side down. But luckily for him, he's got Bob Iger around for almost 2 more years. And those weaknesses are exactly what Iger plans to tackle for the remainder of his time with Disney. Chapek has said that he is, quote, honored and humbled to assume the role of CEO of what I truly believe is the greatest company in the world, end quote. Here's hoping he remembers the creative side of Disney and not just the business side. I'm hoping he does a good job, and his promotion means we'll also have a new head of Disney Parks. I wonder who that'll be. Personally, I'm rooting for Josh D'Amaro, current head of Disney World. Our next story is a developing story that I'm sure will be talked about more in the future, sadly. That's coronavirus, or more specifically, COVID-19. Bob Chapek has become CEO of Disney at a time when the company and the world is still just starting to feel the effects of the coronavirus. The first cases of coronavirus appeared in China. Since then, there have been over 80,000 confirmed cases so far, almost 3,000 deaths, and there have been confirmed cases in 53 different countries. Experts are finding it more and more likely for this to become a global pandemic and for there to be major disruptions worldwide. Disney has seen this week's new closure of Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. They will remain closed for at least half a month. Meanwhile, Shanghai Disneyland and Hong Kong Disneyland have been closed since January 26. There are already concerns about Milan opening in China in late March. On Tuesday, new Disney CEO Bob Chapek told CNBC, quote, while this is certainly a bump in the road in terms of the coronavirus, we'll come through this like we've come through every other challenge that we've had. And that affinity for the brand and our storytelling will way outlast any type of short-term blip that we have from Corona, end quote. With a news story like this, I want to wish everyone good health, and I hope you and yours are safe. Remember not to panic and do carry out some planning for potential disruptions to your normal life. Time for a quick lightning round. Disney has partnered with Impossible Foods and will be bringing meatless option to its parks and cruise ships. I welcome our new meatless overlord. The new Magic Happens Parade has officially started in Disneyland, the first new parade at Disneyland in 9 years. Jungle Cruise boat sunk over at Magic Kingdom. Not completely, but as much as a boat can sink over the Jungle Cruise. J.D. Dillard and Matt Owens are apparently working on a Star Wars movie. No news yet on what the subject of that one will be. And now, on to the final story for the week. The story which I originally expected to be my top story for the week. And that is Star Wars: The High Republic. I, for one, am excited about this. Later this year, Star Wars will be focusing on a period of time about 200 years before The Phantom Menace. There will be books and comics from various publishers and aimed at different age groups, all focusing on this time period. Personally, I wonder if this is a way to build excitement for the upcoming Star Wars movie trilogy that will be starting in 2022. The rumor has been that the upcoming trilogy will be set in a similar time period, originally talked about as 400 years ago as opposed to the 200 years ago now confirmed for High Republic. They also specifically announced 2 comic book series and 3 books, 1 book for kids, 1 for young adults, and 1 for adults. I don't get to read new books that often nowadays, but I want to, and this is certainly psyching me up. I want to read Light of the Jedi when it comes out. I don't really have any experience with any of these new writers. My experience is heavily in the old expanded universe, now Legends. But this is quite enticing. I'm a Star Wars fan through and through, and I love to see more Star Wars. They say their goal is to, quote, bring in great talent and let their imaginations run free, end quote. I love the creative potential this promises, and I have high hopes for the High Republic. Did I miss any news stories? Are there any of these news stories you would like to see me expand on and turn into a longer video? Let me know down below in the comments. For what it's worth, it really does mean a lot to me to receive comments on my videos. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And come back tomorrow for my take on Pixar's new movie Onward. And if you haven't done it yet, click that subscribe button and ring the bell. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you always.